Okay, so once again, good morning, everyone, and I would like to thank everyone for joining me in this session. I think this is the second week we're going to have it consistently, and for those that are new, basically 123 technicals is basically like a market outlook session I do every day. That's from Tuesday down to Friday because I don't trade on Monday. And it basically gives you an insight. First of all, it gives you an insight of what what I feel the market might look like on that day. Not just that, but then at the same time, it still helps with it still gives you an insight on how I trade. I think there are some things you learn from these sessions that were not taught in class, like some tiny advices here and there, and then some little tweaks here and there, and it's all those little things that amount to our profitability as traders. So this is basically just to show you guys, let you guys see the market from my own perspective. Yeah, for not just that day, but then like how I see it on a daily. So without further ado, I would like us to start with the fundamentals for today. And we already had AED by 2:30 a.m. We have just low impact news until 1 p.m. It's a speech by 1 p.m. That's the mid impact news, little or no volatility. And then we have by 1:30, which is core retail sales month over month. You guys should be careful around this time. There's no really there are barely strategies out there to trade fundamentals, but you can just be careful with it at that time. The market might move in your direction or it might not move in your direction. Once you've done analysis, if you can enter aggressively, fine. If you're already in a trade by then, you can just move your stop loss to break even or take your profits before then. And we have another one by 7 p.m. This is actually a very big one. It's the Fed chairperson and Powell. It's a speech. So expect anything by then. So next, let's go to the charts and see what we have today. So I'll start with my pairs. I'll start with AED USD first. Hope you guys can hear me clearly.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. I'll start with my pairs. I'll start with AED USD. Okay. Go down to okay. Start with the 4H. It's a new week, so let's look at this. Let's look at this all over again. So on the 4H, my sentiment is bullish. I feel we have already started shifting, and since the shift is already on the 4H, then it's strong. So we were in a downtrend, push, kind of like a pullback, push, and then we pulled back, but we failed to create another low. We created like a higher low here, and then we broke structure to the upside. So for me, this market has shifted structure. Yeah, and this is my range. This is my range basically. From here to anywhere this thing wants to stop. So for me now it's bullish. AED is turning bullish. So let's go to the let me change this thing. It's actually nice that the 50% is actually sitting on the structure that was broken. Okay, good. On the 1 hour time frame, this is where it's a bit tricky. Okay, so we just pack all this as one move, and then we had this move looked like an impulsive move, but then we gradually broke it to the upside. And I think this is basically what's happening right now. The implication of this is that, once this whole retracement starts, I would like to convince myself, or I'll be convinced that it's the structure that will be broken here. Because for this retracement to happen, this point has to be broken to the downside. This one too has to be broken to the downside. So I really don't feel price. I really would not like to see price come down all the way just to come and fulfill this 4 hour distance. But we might actually see it, this 4 hours zone here. We might actually see it. We might actually see price come down to actually come lower than the 50% of this 4 hour range here. But price doing that, price will actually break this point here. And at that point, I'll feel this is actually shifting the market structure. But honestly, let's flow with, let's go with what we have now. Let's stop worrying about the future. So let's go with what we have. Let's go with what we have now. So the 4 hour range is already from here to here. Then most recent market structure, push kind of like a small pullback, or push and then a small pullback, and then now we're having a push. So I think what I would like to see is what I'll basically work it with is the most recent market structure. And honestly, the most recent market structure for me is this point here. So I would like to see that retracement happening. Yeah, two things. If price pushes further up and then starts retracing, I might actually drop my Fibonacci to actually flow with the market, as in catch the buys. Because this is actually a bullish market, so I'll be looking for buys, not sells. So I'll actually drop my Fibonacci, but then I'm not going to enter aggressively. I'm going to enter very, very conservatively. Yeah. I like my golden ratio and drop. I like it and drop. Yeah. I would like to see what price will do inside and convince me that it will continue to the upside. Because it's most likely that we'll see something like this. The second scenario, instead of price coming down here to retest and continue, I have something like this. It's most likely we'll have something like this, which, and then we break it to the downside. And if we break it to the downside, then we have what a shift in market structure around this point here. So that will call for to retest and then a sell. Either way, this is how I'm looking at it. This is basically what I'm looking at on AD. So why I feel price will actually come down is because of this 4 hour range here. This push is very massive, and I don't know, maybe price might want to calm down, retrace a bit before continuing to the upside. So now let's go to NZDUSD. NZDUSD is almost the same thing. Sorry, my chat is that. Okay, let's check this out. Okay, even NZD on the 4H here, we've shifted structure. Yeah, it's convincing that this is an uptrend now. We had this whole stuff here that broke to the upside, came down, it retraced deep, but then it still eventually broke to the upside. So now this is our 4 hour range from this point to this point. Before I continue, are you guys following? Do you guys understand? Do you guys have any question regarding ADSD? Do you guys understand? Are you guys following?
Yeah, yes, we are.
So now this is my 4 hour range. So let's drop to the 1 hour. Let me check that. Let's see what's happening in the 1 hour. So it's basically it's almost the same thing. As we all know, NZD and AED are like highly correlated. So it's almost the same thing that's happening with AED that's happening on NZD. It's the same thing. I would just work with my most recent market structure. That's basically what I'll do. I don't want to stress this whole thing because it's in market structure like this. Let's just work with what we have, the most recent market structure. So yeah, most recent market structure, this is my range from here to here. Because I think if you look at it on the 15 minutes, you actually see the break clearly. Let's go to 15 minutes. You actually see the move clearly on the 15 minutes. This has been very bullish. So yeah, this is it. We had a push, pullback, push, and then a very little pullback, and then a push, and then if you want, you can consider this. I'll actually consider this as a pullback, and then we are having the push now. So I would like to wait for the pullback and then set to catch the buys, which for me, I'll use my Fibonacci definitely. Anyway, it stops, I'll use my Fibonacci, and then I like the golden. I would like to see this structure, this point, this high that was broken inside the golden ridge. But then if price comes towards, just like we had on AUD it comes to break this point here, then I'll be looking for the retest for the sells. So that's basically what I have on both NZD and AUD. Do you guys understand what I mean by the break here? Because this is our higher low. Sorry, do you guys understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So now the next thing I would like to the next pair is Euro USD. We had this range and price actually headed there. I think this Euro USD is okay, but on L. Sorry guys. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
No, sir.
Okay. Sorry, my external display switched off, so I'm using my laptop now. Share the screen. Okay, good. Can you guys see it now?
Yes.
So on NZD, I mean on Euro USD, this is actually looking like a complex correction because we are still inside this 4 hour range. Yeah, this 4 hour range we had from last week, we're still inside. We're still inside this range here. This range, we're still inside this range, and we're just tapping into the 50. We're just tapping into the 50. Okay, let's see. We're just tapping into the 50. This is actually interesting. And then there's no clear like shift of structure on the 4 hour. You go to the 1 hour. You go to the 1 hour. All these moves are okay. Okay. I don't consider this as a shift in market structure, like a clear shift in market structure that price wants to turn bullish, because I don't feel it's turning bullish. Because look at this whole impulsive move to the downside. We had just what 1, 2, 3. Let's see. We had just let's see. We had just 3 candles, and then we're having how many candles making just that same, how many candles, and then it's still not up to half, 15 candlesticks. So I am not convinced this is shift. This is basically a correction. It's still in the correctional phase. And like I highlighted last week, I think this should be the area we should pay attention to. This area here. I'll just make it big like this because there are two things I'm looking at. There's this whole place here, this one. This is the first one, and then the second one is this candlestick here. This doji candlestick that is here. So that's why I made the area big. So either ways, I would like to see what price will do inside these areas. But till then, since price has not reached tapped into these areas here, I'll still be looking for those buys to actually want to ride it to tap into these areas. I think this is at the point where I'll be looking for what to sell. So right now, I would like to see that retracement, and then it's still the same thing with AUD and NZ. We have the push. Anytime the retracement starts here, I would like to catch it inside the golden ratio. Yeah, it's basically around here. So around my 0.5 and 0.6 Fibonacci. So that's basically, I would like to see price get inside here. But then I'm actually seeing this rejection here. If you check this 4-hour range, let's see whether it has tapped into 60. Yep, it's actually this rejection is actually coming from the golden ratio of this bearish move. And if it's actually a bearish candle, if this candlestick closes and then it's a bearish pin bar, then I'll actually start looking for that sell. I'll actually start looking for the sell. But till then, I would like to see price come deeper into these areas, these top areas here, these areas here. So hope you guys understand. Hope you guys understand. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
we can.
Okay, cool. So let's go to the next one, which is wow, GBP/USD is actually GBP/USD range is actually clear. Let's go to the 4 week charts. Okay, for GBP/USD, I'm actually convinced that started shifting. So we had the break of structure to the downside. We had like a double bottom, a push, and then a pullback. Like it retested the neckline and then boom, we're exposing to the upside. So let's drop to the 1 hour and see what we have. It's initiative market transaction. So on the 1 hour, yeah, I'll use this point from down here to here as my range. Because this was just price slowing down. This was just, this area here was just price slowing down. I don't think there was any retracement yet. It was just slow down in price, but then it actually continued. So that's my feed. Drop my feed from top to bottom. It's okay. From top to bottom, from bottom to top. So basically, I would like to see what price we're doing inside this area. So from the 50 down to this point here, this wick that was broken here, this one here. I would like to see how price behave inside these areas. If I see anything convincing to take a buy, then I'll take a buy. But this market is actually what's bullish now, and the only thing I want to look for is what buys. So that's basically what I'm looking at on GBP/USD. I think GBP/USD has been the same place this morning. So I'm done with my pairs. Do you guys understand this analysis on GBP/USD?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Can you guys if you want me to look into any pairs, you can drop the suggestion.
Please let's check out USD card.
USD card, okay. Okay, this is actually nice. Did we do any analysis on USD card last week? I don't think we did. Okay, USD card is basically bearish. We saw the shift and then we came for the retest and then we're continuing with the downtrend. Yeah. So let's drop to the 1 hour and find something interesting. Wow. This is almost the same thing we had on AUD/USD. We had this whole massive push and then we had just a short pullback and we had a break. And now we had another short pullback. And then I think we do not have a clear break of structure to the downside. The implication of this is that if you see a break to the upside, if you see a break to the upside, then this will actually show bullish sentiments because this will actually break this structure, this lower high to the upside. And honestly, that would make me feel like this market is going bullish. But either way, it's just flow with it. If you see the break to the upside here, then just look for the buy around these areas here, around the neckline that was broken. That's just it. That's how you can ride it. But then at the same time, don't forget the 4-hour range, which is this point here, this from here to here. Yeah, let me change it to the 50. The 50. Don't forget this place here. This structure was broken on the 4-hour time frame. So price might actually react. Price might react from there. Maybe not massive, but price might react from there. So pay attention to that level too. But once you see price pushing to the upside here to come to these areas, it will break this structure here. It will break this this lower high here. So basically, once it breaks it, you can look for the retest and then the continuation to this side. So that's basically what I see on the USD card. So you guys have any other pair you want me to take a look at? Any other pair?
Sorry, I have one more.
Okay, what's the pair?
AUDCHF.
AUDCHF. This is nice. Okay, USDJPY. So look at USDJPY after this one. This is bullish on the 4. On the 4, it is bullish. Push, pull back, break, pull back, and then we have a break now. These are 4-hour range. And I think we have started with the retracement that started. Let's see. Yeah, the retracement that's kind of started. Let's see. But then it's still, I really don't understand I really don't get why this market structure is happening. Like this whole shitty price action is happening. So they were having very minor stuff in between, higher highs, higher lows, and then a higher high. Basically, this is my range. Since the market is bullish here, this is my 1-hour range here. This is the most recent price action. So I'll pay attention to that point. Anything that happens here anything that happens here will actually determine a lot of things. Will actually determine how I look at this pair. So this is our higher low. Yeah. So as long as price stays above, yeah, we're in an uptrend. Yeah. So what we're looking at is the place to actually get the buys from. So let me change this to okay, it's nice. It's nice. This point is actually inside this high that was broken. It's just below the golden ratio. This high that was broken, yeah, it's just below, but then it's not. It's just below, but then it's not way down. It's not below 0.7. So wait for price to get into this area here, yeah, and watch how it behaves. If you see the shifts, then fine. But then if you don't see that shift and then the continuation, yeah, and then you just see price break it to the downside, then this is your higher high. This is the point you should look for the retest. for the continuation. That's basically it on AED card. So someone said USD JPY, yeah? Let me see. Yeah, USD JPY. USD JPY. Let's take a look at USD JPY. Wow. Okay. Where's JPY? I am convinced we are still inside the 4-hour range. So this is basically our 4-hour range. This is basically our 4-hour range. Let's go to the one hand look at the price action. Wow, and we have rejected like how many times from this area? 30 times. Okay, so let's look at the most recent market structure. Yeah, we had the shift of market structure. We had the retracement. It now actually reacts at the neckline. It went deeper. Then we shift. It kind of like shifted again, and then we pulled back. We broke structure to the downside. Now we are breaking it to the upside and then reacting from this area again. USD JPY, I would like to sit USD JPY out, and then it's actually like it's in a range right now. So I would like to sit it out and then watch for more price action. So unfortunately, this is going to be the last pair I'll take a look at. The meeting is remaining 9 minutes. I don't know, is there any pair someone wants me to look at? Urgent. I don't know. I think some people have gold in their mind, so let's take a look at gold before we go. Okay, the shift, so we are seeing it on gold. Yeah, the shift is actually on the 4H2. Push, pull back, push, and then we broke it to the upside. So let's go to the one now. This is where it gets interesting. It's just like those other pairs, yeah? We have, this is actually a higher low. This point here is actually a higher low because it broke structure to the upside. It broke structure to the upside. Now, if that higher low is broken to the downside, yeah, once this higher low is broken to the downside, I'd like to see the retest for a continuation of the sell. But then at the same time, that sell, I'll be taking it and then watching this area that was broken. I wouldn't actually take any trades on gold right now because on both sides, yeah, on both sides we have conferences. So if we have a break of this point, I'd like to see a retest. And then that retest might just stop here and then the explosion to the upside might continue. So I don't know. You can just pick your poison and maybe take the sell. But if you take the sell around this point, that's anytime price breaks this point to the downside, then you can take the sell here like this. Stop loss just above here. And then your TP should be inside this area here. But that's just a 1.21 hour. It's not really something to waste my money on top. So I think it's best if you just wait for the, what's it called? For price to get into this market is already bullish. So if you see any signs of the market wanting to push any entry confirmation around this side, then it's actually going to be high probability that to actually push and continue to the upside. So I actually look for the buys instead, not the sell, because the sell is a little bit desperate. Do you guys understand the analysis?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So at this point, I would like to end the session. This whole Zoom session is remaining 6 minutes. So please, guys, I'm coming out. Let me copy the link and send to you guys. because of some bottlenecks, I wouldn't be posting. I think from Wednesday, I won't be sending the link on the group chat. So I created a new group. If you want to be following the market outlook sections, you can join the group. It's on Telegram. So I'll send the link now. Let me share the link. Okay. 1 second. Okay, so here's the link. You guys can follow it. Paste. If you guys can follow that link to join the new group, and if you can't, if you still want it, you can DM me on Telegram and I'll send it. And for those that want to watch this session again, I'll be sending the link on that group, and then I'll still be sending it on the mastery group so you guys can join. I can see some of you are joining already. Thank you guys very much. I'm really grateful. And I really want to appreciate everyone for joining this session, for staying up to the end. I wish you guys a very big trading day today. Please always keep an open mind in the market, always flow with it, always go with whatever is doing. Don't be rigid with your analysis or with your forecasts. But then, like I say, always be rigid with your trade management and your risk management. So that's just that. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. As you see, we'll have lesson later by 8 p.m. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow. You guys should stay safe and let's go back from here. Later, guys.